It's been pretty volatile, but also range bound, right? So that sounds a little funny, but I thought this morning was pretty chaotic. Not as smooth as we would like to see it. And I want to talk about the PMZ, but before we do that, let's look at the ES futures, what it's done today, what I gave you on Sunday, and how you approach this. Let's open this up a little bit bigger. And this is currently on the monthly. We want to make sure that's on a weekly. At the end of today, I'm going to do a video that I send out to show you guys how to set your TOS screen up like this so you can quickly run through the weekly all the way to the 5 minute, because really that's what you should be doing. So you can check all your different time frames before you get started for the day. But this is what we have going on: inside and up formation, continuation, and we're bumping right into resistance and or right around the decelerator. Again, in the room, I've shown you what that AC/DC means. And let's go ahead and just write it out just in case anybody does not know. It stands for AC/DC equals ME. Okay? So AC/DC equals ME. So AC plus DC equals ME. All it's saying is once we rise above the decelerator, tomorrow I'll be looking for higher highs. Those stops go in underneath the decelerator, and then we are aiming towards the next arrow, the accelerator, and then the ME, which is right up here at 4105. Now, the probabilities for this are 85%. Okay, so there is a 15% chance that we will be wrong. I was going over this last night with Melissa. Typically, the way we like to trade these in a bull market, like in 2021, is it's more of a out of the money type of trade because you want to give it a little bit of room to build its base above that decelerator. Okay, so you could be looking at SPX, whatever, but it needs to build above the decelerator first. Okay, so again, we'll check it today on close. If it holds above that decelerator, tomorrow we'll be looking to see if we bid above the PMZ and we can continue. Now, something that I'm noticing here is that we are 2 weeks up so far, and it's very early in the week, but we could be leading to three white soldiers, right? That's three continuation candles that would look like these two: one, two, and then a third one. Matter of fact, if we go over here to the daily, I want you to check this out. Notice how we're pushing up here on 2 days, okay, right here. And also tomorrow could be, okay, again, hypothetical here, could be a nice big green candle getting us to the mid. And that right there would be three white soldiers, okay? Notice on the daily right here, we are finally starting to push above the cloud. Remember, we went over that this morning. All right, so this, if we can hold above here, that would be a solid close for today's session. This leads me to believe that the continuation can continue further. Now, this is where they're getting you, and this is nothing new. This has been going on for several sessions, and that is the fact that we are just in a channel. And like I explained this morning, this channel is right here. This is high on the curve. This is low on the curve, and this is where we want to be getting long. This is where we want to be trimming and just being careful. At some point, we will break through this. Timing is the variable. Timing is always the variable when we're talking about the market. See, a lot of us are always right. We just don't know if it's going to be today or in a year from now. But we'll let you know. We'll surely let you know. That's what we do. So we're finally hitting today's target. Okay, that was 38.13. All right, 38.13 was my target for today. Now, this is not a hard target by any means. This actually just pushed up into a pivot high that was created overnight. And you can see that. And that came from this chaotic candle. Now, just a few minutes ago, one of our members said, man, the PMZ, or they didn't say the PMZ, they said the previous sessions opening up in the morning have been very, very choppy. I agree. See, the overall trend is actually what we need to be paying attention to. And that's why I keep bringing you guys to the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, and then leading you into a 5 minute. The difficult thing here is on the open, and this has been happening quite a bit. It didn't happen on Friday because if you look very closely on the PMZ trade, this thing was crazy money. Okay? Came right into the PMZ, literally touched it. As it goes bid, you go long, and the rest was history. Okay? Now today, totally different. They've been doing this a lot. So if you took the PMZ trade here, everyone is different, right? I talked to some people today who literally made what they wanted to make just on this little push right here. Okay. So I want to give you a little bit of perspective. You're waiting for price to bid over this. This is on the opening. Okay. Not right before the opening or anything like that. This is on the opening, the PMZ prints. You take the trade over. Okay. You push quickly from 97 into 98.08, folks. That's 10 points. That's $500 a contract. Okay. Now, again, that's if you entered immediately, which I personally don't think there's any excuses why you can't enter immediately because we already know what the level is. We knew what the level was today, almost 10, 20 minutes before the open, correct? Now, saying that you close right at the top, that's a different story. But what I do know is when I'm teaching you guys, typically as soon as you start going profitable, everybody is different. Start to bring those stops up. There's no reason why you should be up 10 points and then that trade turn around and be red for you, especially in futures. Okay. Now let's dissect it. Okay. Right here. Now, are we ones that do you want to commit to the candle? Or do you just want to get stopped out? Everyone is different. Okay, there is no absolute. One day committing to the candle could be amazing for you, and the next day it could be horrible. All right, just want to be very, very clear. The market is random. All right, meaning, let's just say that you made your money here, okay, and then it closed underneath, so you decided to go short. Guess what? Boom, you get stopped out. Okay, right here, it stays above. Boom, guess what? You get stopped out. You go short. Guess what? You actually make a lot of money. Okay. So we hit our levels to the downside today, this morning, down into the trendy edges. Matter of fact, we had two stacked edges. Okay. Two stacked edges. All right. We pushed up from there. And if you take your eyes down into this right here, remember what I tell you. If you come down into a trendy edge, quant pivots, I don't know, EMAs, whatever it is that you use, you can apply this if your levels work. Look at the TTM squeeze. Once the red bars go to yellow, this is letting me know that the selling pressure has eased off. So this is really nice, right, guys? We come down into a level, demand level. We take our eyes down here. You wait patiently. You execute. Stops go in underneath the edges, and you trade this up to the upside. Now, Shea, one of our members, was in Square, and it's kind of the same idea, but he was trading off a Square, had nothing to do with futures. So his trade was from a down level like this. He traded it to the upside, went from red to white to green, hit the PMZ, pulled a little bit, and then broke out from the PMZ. Okay, so sure, we talk about PMZ trades, sure, they're profitable. But there's other ways to make money here at Trendy Trading. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that. Matter of fact, the premise behind everything I do is supply and demand, not just the PMZ trade. The PMZ trade is just one little piece of what I teach. Okay. Now, notice prices push up over this level. You take this trade, your stop goes in underneath, you make money. Your entry from here, okay, 37.97, and again all the way up into about 10 points, another 500 bucks. Price comes back to the PMZ. Me personally, I don't like to do these unless what? If the PMZ is 23 to 38% of the pivot high. And look at it. It's above the 23.6. Everybody understand that? Anybody need me to show them that once again? Okay. Okay. Everybody see that? Is Sean in here yet? Let me see. Do we need to like show him a picture? It doesn't look like he's in here. Here, let me do one little picture really quick. All right. click there. Did you get it, Sean? All right. So, anyways, this again, $500 trade. Okay. Stop outs today. Stop outs 5.3. Okay. That's just about 250 bucks if you're trading the ES, just a little over that. Okay. So your profits so far versus your stop outs should be making you money. Okay. Everybody understand? Stop me if I'm wrong. Okay. Same thing here. You decide to go short underneath the PMZ. What do you get here? 37.91 and some change down to 37.87. Guys, if you're trading futures and you're trying to trade the PMZ, you can't be picking your nose and like, oh, it's underneath the PMZ. I'm going to go short. No, your finger needs to be on the trigger, okay? And as soon as it crosses, you're taking the trade. Mechanical. If you try to catch it afterwards or below it, please make sure that you're not FOMOing into a supply zone to the upside. And to the downside, just make sure you're not trying to go short right into a demand level. Okay? So, as I was saying earlier, notice how this PMZ happens to be above 23.6 of the range. I'm not a huge dip buyer for the PMZ. Sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I don't. I told you guys last week, if price comes back down into the PMZ and it happens to be around the 23.6, that's the only time I really like it for a dip buy because it's falling within the bullish zone. Okay? Yeah, that's definitely wrong then, Brian. We'll have to look at it here in a second. Okay? Here, as soon as we break out again, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, folks? Let's just say that you're just having a hard time, right? I think a lot of people are doing really good. Okay? Yeah, so Brian, if you have the old PMZ, all you got to do is X out of it and then reinstall it. Okay? Yeah. But let me show you, and I'm showing you guys this on a whiteboard, and I'm going to do it one more time. Okay? I know you guys have seen it 1,000 times. This is trendy trading. These are opportunities every single day. Some traders, this is them. Okay, let's make that red. They don't do well. So what do? They skip the next trade. This one. This one goes, okay? And then they're FOMO'd and they feel bad. So what do? They take the next trade. This one. But it only goes just a little bit like this, and they only make 2 points. So they're like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in this trade. Then they get stopped out. Now they've lost 3 trades today. Now they're really pissed. They get an opportunity again. Comes down into the PMZ, pushes really hard. They miss it again. Okay? Then, at the end of the day, that's today, you get this move. And then they tell me, hey, John, I haven't done very well today. And then I assess, and this is what I see. Okay? I know because this has happened to me too. If you are going to commit to the PMZ trade, commit to it. Don't cherry pick the trades, guys. This is mechanical. I want you to close your eyes and think that you're just trading for a firm, like a prop firm. And all they're doing is paying you. All right. Hey, Joe, I'm going to pay you 60 grand a year. I just need you to take these trades when they go above this box. I want you to go long with a stop under it. When it breaks down below, I want you to go short with a stop above. That's it. No questions. I don't want you to ask me anything. Don't do anything else. Just trade the box. Okay? So when we look at this, there's those opportunities today. They're very choppy, but it's very easy to get discouraged if you get stopped out, right? It's very easy to get discouraged. So I'm not faulting anybody for that. Very difficult. All right, how your emotions were first time this morning when we open up versus where they are today can be completely different. It's not easy. Okay. One thing that I want to tell you about is Friday, and I brought this up before. Friday was a very big day. Okay. After big days, we consolidate between the 23 and the 38. It's very bullish. This is very typical. It's called digesting the move. We need to digest it. We moved so fast, we got to make sure that we have enough buyers to continue the trend to the upside. Am I right? Okay. So if we were to take this entire trend, right, from Friday, and you can see it started right here, and then we come up to the pivot high, guess what? Look where we are right now. Okay. We spent most of the day within the bullish channel. There was a point where we actually dipped below that today, or sorry, last night. But today, that's right here, folks, we stayed in the bullish trend. This is very important. Write this in your journal. Don't be trying to go short when the overall market is holding a bullish trend. If you are micro trading or you're scalping, then you can delete what I just said. Okay. Don't try to get too short, folks. It'd be different if the ES futures were starting to go ask underneath the 38.2. You start to feel a little bit of momentum change to the downside. Then I feel like it's a little bit safer to then change your idea of your portfolio and actually go short. Okay. Everybody understand that? So once again, we're holding and digesting in a very bullish channel. Okay. All right. So that is that. Let's go over here to the NASDAQ futures really quick. Okay. Now, if there wasn't a blueprint that basically said, trade me, you're mine, right? I'm all yours, it would be this guy right here, right? Given to you on Sunday. Look at these levels. You were given an opportunity on NASDAQ today, futures, trigger long. Prices come in, we reclaim. Now look where we are, right to the resistance. Okay? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So depending on how you want to trade this. Well, I don't trade futures, John. Can you trade QQQ? Buy the Qs. Okay? So just kind of go back and forth. So when you see me scalping and trading throughout the day, what I'm doing is I'm looking at all these different charts. Not everybody has that luxury to be able to look at all these different names. But that's why I'm up here. Ask questions. Okay? If you're thinking about entering a trade and you're new here and you're not asking questions and you're not trying to learn, but you're losing money, I would really like to help you out. Just reach out to me. Hey, John, I'm having a hard time, man. Like, and then I'll ask you. I could tell sometimes. I'm like, who are you? I didn't even know you were here. You haven't asked a question in a month, right? And we get traders like that, right? So I need you to come in, ask questions, think about what we're doing, apply it, and then see, okay? Really commit to the overall methodology, please. This is what it looks like on a 4 hour. It really doesn't look much different, except if you noticed that we had $25 we could move in the Qs, and I said 20 in the ES. That means the NASDAQ is a little understated, right? And can move a little bit more than what people are thinking. All right? Because if you were to look at the symmetry or basically what the ES looks like, the ES looks like this, am I right? And we're up here. Okay? Notice that little bit of room that they're leaving for us in the NASDAQ. What do you guys think that relates to? Anybody have any ideas? Why do we have a little bit more space up there than we do on the SPY? Anybody know? That's exactly right. Right? We have all the big tech earnings coming up. It's kind of weird, right? You start seeing these kind of things and you could see them on the charts. It's really cool. All right. So we got this room. This is the cushion that they're giving us. Now, I'm really curious. Will the SPY just kind of stall here for a bit? It's up 50 points. I don't mean today, but tomorrow, while the NASDAQ waits to see if it will fill the cushion. And then when you have the SPY, whoops, the SPY looks like this, right? And then you have the Qs that look like this, okay? When both of them, let's say that the earnings kick off and they do well, then all of a sudden the Qs do this. Now we have synergistic behavior, and then we can get one of these, right? Everybody like to see that. The market takes off and finally breaks out of the 4-hour channel. Okay? Pretty cool. So this is what we're waiting for. However, take note that we are at resistance here on the SPY, okay, or the ES, however you want to look at it. All right? And over here on the NASDAQ, okay, we actually have some room. Okay? Now, notice this candle right here. This is really important. Let's go ahead and zoom in. This is supply, okay? Notice the move down is really strong. So we need to be careful here where this gray box is. However, we've already tested it. Now we're testing it again. In my studies, what I have noticed and what I took note of that nobody taught me was to take the idea of if they can make a higher high within the supply zone, I'm more bullish. I'm more bearish or more hesitant when we can't make a new high in the zone. Does that make sense, folks? So if we zoom in, the zone has already been tested. I want to know, can we get over that? If we can get over that, then things start to look a lot better to the upside. Okay. Matter of fact, this round and bottom is really pretty. Not only was this a trigger long, but if you look closely, that also was your trendy edge. I can't make this stuff up. We're rounding very nicely. We came into a 4-hour cloud. We came into a trendy edge. We came into a trigger long. We came into resistance. And that's what it looks like. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Going into the SPY and the QQQ. Right here, I took the trade earlier. The reason why I took the trade is because we were moving out of the neutral. Folks, the neutral strategy is pretty effing awesome. It really is. The problem is that if you are conditioned to only trade the PMZ, or in 2022, many people are conditioned to be afraid to hold, right? You guys know me, I swing a lot of trades, actually. We do pretty well on swinging these trades. But if you look at that and you compare it to the PMZ, one person has the mindset that they will be right in a matter of like probably 10 to 30 minutes. That's what's cool about the PMZ. As soon as you're right, you're right. There's no denying it. Just like you could be wrong very quickly, right? Because we are micro focused on a box that is somewhere between 25 cents wide and possibly $1.50 at the max most of the time. Okay. And then I bring you over here to the neutral strategy and I'm like, hey guys, let's go. I'll come in next Sunday and go, look, we went over 377. And if you would have, went long and stayed long, you could have hit 388. But at that time, you're scared. The truth is you're scared. Okay. Because look at the stop 372. Are you crazy? Right? It's like $5 down there. But folks, the PMZ and the neutral strategy are a lot alike. Okay. The difference is your mindset. Maybe you do something different here. You want to try out taking neutral trades. How can you do them and make them a little bit easier with a little less risk. Figure it out. Maybe you go just a little bit more out of the money. Maybe you buy 2 weeks out. Maybe you do a debit spread. Maybe you sell put credit spreads down here. Okay. Either way, I want you to notice what happened on the QQQ today. If you went short, you actually hit targets, T1 and T2 to the downside. The lower levels are support until proven otherwise, and the levels to the upside are resistance until proven otherwise. I have found these levels by using supply and demand and Fibonacci's on multiple time frames. I listen to brain music, I go into a trance, my eyes go backwards, and I legit wake up 30 minutes later and I'm like, what did I just do? And then I come in here at the end of the week and I go, holy crap, this is amazing. And I've been saving these for many, many years. Okay. That's what all this stuff is in here. Okay. Every date, you can just go through here and find all kinds of good information. And when you do this and you keep track of your journal, you start to feel a little bit more confident about your trading and your levels. And it takes time, folks. It could take years. Even if you notice every single day that your levels work, some people just take a little bit longer to catch on. That's me. It took me a long time. Okay. This is the neutral strategy. It's working. And when I took the SPY earlier with shares, I bought here and then I bought the dip in here and then I sold up here. Okay. It worked. If it didn't work, I would tell you it didn't work and you would also see it in my trades. That's what's awesome about having transparent trades. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I want to show you is I took Apple today, right? And Apple, I think we got like a little bit of money out of that, right? And if we go into the 5 minute, let's just go ahead and take a look. This morning, I think that Melissa covered Apple, and I drew some levels when she was covering it. What I noticed is on the 5 minute, all you had to do is look up and to the left, and you could see that we had a pivot high. You could see that the Friday run, we were just consolidating in a bullish zone. The idea here is that the overall trend is bullish, and I want to buy the dip. Okay. So that's what I did today. I bought the dip. I had a level down here. Okay. Once it went a bit off of here, then I was looking to go long. You can see we broke over the PMZ and the rest is history. So all of this clutter right here is really difficult, right? People get amped in the morning. We want to trade right away. And I get that. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to be patient and I take a trade within 10 seconds. We're all going to do that. Sometimes we're going to make money. Sometimes we're going to get stopped. Okay. But notice what I want you to really take away from this session is that I'm teaching you that after that big run up on Friday, things have to consolidate. And when they digest, they wound up and then they poof. Okay? Just like that. That's exactly what happened here. Okay? That's Apple. The next trade I felt really proud about. Could I have held it longer? Sure. But it's whatever. It's just a trade. Nvidia. If you just came here and you didn't understand proof of concept, I hope you do now. Because this zone that I found, it was on a right here. See this green arrow that was back in March? That's one of my signals. Did you know that the green arrows, those are demand zones, okay? They're identifying demand zones. I told you before, it's not as easy as an inside and up. The code is not just an inside and up, folks. A fifth grader could do that. So it's a little bit more complicated than that. But it is finding demand zones. Okay. So when price is falling, I want you to always look down and to the left and make sure that you're not trying to go short in a zone. Okay. A lot of people do, believe it or not. Okay. So our job was to identify that we were in a demand zone from a higher standpoint. Okay. And then we come over, and depending on who you are, you could check out the daily just to feel safe. You could come over to the 4 hour, and this is the chart that I gave you. Okay. And I looked for price to come down into the zone. I almost bought immediately, but I didn't. I think I got busy with something else. I waited, came back to it, noticed it was still looking beautiful, took the trade. Okay. Now, if you're like me, you're looking at the trade and you're like thinking to yourself, like, man, that's crazy, because those right now, they're going for 565. They were at six something a little bit earlier. Okay. It's a really nice trade, regardless. NIO, another scalp that we took, guys. We took that at $8 and some change. It's at 944 now. Another winner. CCL, the reason why I sold out of the money is because I just don't want to deal with out of money. If you remember, I meant to buy the at the monies or in the monies when I bought this originally. Okay, so I just got rid of those and I kept the at the money. We trimmed them on Friday, I believe. And CCL, let's go ahead and take a look at it really quick. And by the way, Nvidia looks like it's barely just getting started. I mean, I almost want to buy 131 to 135s for this week, but I think they report soon. So, all right. CCL. I think CCL looks really good. I was just asking Melissa what she thought about the TTM squeeze here. This is the 4 hour. This is what it looks like. We had a huge sell off. This is a beautiful inside and down. And when I say beautiful inside and down, like you don't have to be fearful. See, typically price likes to move from an inside and up to an inside and down formation. The journey there is why I'm here to help coach you to get there. Okay. So it's not easy. The easier trade is down here. Okay. Once we start to fire these yellow bars, the easier trade is here and trying to hold through this. Okay. Now the question is whether or not we go inside and up on the 4 hour. I'd like to add into my position. I'm currently holding the 850s for this week. And the way that I'm going to enter this trade is if we start to go inside and up. So basically, we need to start bidding above 826. Okay, and that's only a few pennies away, by the way. But the closer we get to the close, the better I feel about it. Okay, that's CCL. All right, so we did NEO, positive trade. CCL, the current trade right now is also positive, about 30%. Apple was positive. Baba, let's talk about Baba. What a beautiful trade. And I love when I take a trade that everybody else is scared to take. Okay. We literally pegged the bottom here, folks. I mean, we literally pegged the bottom here. Okay. We came in here. We took a look. If you weren't live, I came into the quarterly chart. Okay. When everybody else is running for the door, I want to know if we are coming into demand. But instead of demand, and honestly, this is demand, actually. Let me go ahead and show you. This is what we call a triple inside and up. You guys see that? Any questions? Mother candle, inside candle, inside candle, inside candle, and then up. Okay. All we did was we've come in here several times. 1, 2, 3 times. And here's the fourth time. This one on more news about China. It was a double bottom. I wanted to take the trade because in my career, I've seen too many people buy the double bottom and I just sit there and stare. It's not easy to do, you know. So they work though. And then when they work, you like scratch your head and you're like, are you kidding me? That like seemed like a really easy trade. So we picked up the trade literally down here and you can see the result. It moved all the way up into the PMZ and are around 58 all the way into 63, folks. Really nice trade. Just forget what you hear about and just try to trade the technicals. Okay. Moving on down, the next one would be Oxy. We took that this morning. Okay. And Oxy is down now. And it's literally about to break the PMZ. And I noticed that a little bit earlier. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Not a big deal. Only lost 24% on it. But, you know, Melissa, you're right. It just pushed up a little bit. And so the market started feeling a little bullish here. And it continued to feel bullish. It actually felt bullish right here again. And it felt like the PMZ was going to hold and they were going to continue up. And being a good steward of my money, I wanted to make sure that, I didn't get caught off sides. So I took a 24% loss. But, this trade still looks good to the downside. It looks like it still wants to come down to 69.53, and it's down 68 cents right now. But it was a loss of 24 cents. Snap, SNAP. Literally, we grabbed this at the very bottom as well at 736 on Friday. Okay. So if you were to find $7.36 right here at my level, folks, come on. If you're going to grade me, I think you should grade me on stuff like this. This is where Trendy Trading members got in. I can't tell you how many people I saw try to get in here and get dumped on. We stayed patient the entire time, waited for price to come to us, filled, and then we closed today up here. Pretty cool. Not bad at all. Moving on down into the last snafu of the day. For me, that was SPY. And like I said, I did well on SPY equity. But it was a complete cluster, of credit spreads for me this morning because of the overall craziness that happened. And I traded that off of ES futures. Whoops. Okay. And, I showed you guys before, it was pretty chaotic in the morning. So I sold call credit spreads. I was exactly right. However, it came into the zone, it popped again. I bought back, I was just following my rules. It closed over the zone. So I bought back the short side of my spread. It looked pretty good for a few minutes and then it dumped. So then I had to mess around. I bought some stuff, sold some stuff. Either way, that specific trade, I ended up losing money. Okay. And really, all I had to do was stick to the plan in that specific trade, leave it alone, and cover here. And I do that a lot, so it's a little frustrating that I just didn't leave it alone, right? Because I took on more risk than I needed to. The contracts themselves were only like 55 cents, right? But what happens is when you buy back the side, you take on full responsibility of the long side. So, all of a sudden I'm long, the 376 calls I think it was, you know, and let's say when I bought those back, I don't know, they were $4 and it, completely dumps and I buy it back for like 280, that's $120 that I'm down on every contract. Okay. And then I messed around a little bit more. I sold some more credit spreads, made a little bit of money from that. But overall, the trade didn't work out for me. It should have worked out for me if I just would have stayed a little bit patient with it. I think that looking back on credit spreads, it's when I try to get too cute with them. I'm probably, like a 60-40 hit when I do something like that. Today, it just didn't work out. Okay. Uh, let's see. ES futures. I think I made 125% on the butterflies. Sold those. That was a good trade. I called that out on the mic. You guys know you can't see my future trades on here because the API is not behind there. Also went short on ES futures and made money there. So overall, nice day on ES futures. Okay. And SPX, I did a butterfly. It looks like it's not going to work out. I really thought it was about to work out until I said it was about to work out, and then it didn't work out. Okay. Other than that, guys, I'm sitting on pins. That's a long-term trade, 147 days. It's down 16%. And then SHOP, I have 88 days out. I have a call debit spread. They have earnings this Friday or this week, I think. And then so does pins. Just please know that. So going into the close today, my particular account, as far as what I'm holding right now. okay, is only, I'm sitting at almost 98.5% cash. Okay. And other than that, I think that really sums up today. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. But I think tomorrow is going to be the same damn thing. We're digesting, and the question is, can we break out of that 4 hour cloud, or sorry, the 4 hour channel? We just don't know yet. A lot of the bigger moves are coming in at night. Continue to trade that PMZ. If you guys have any questions about what those levels are, you can reach out to me tonight. I'm gonna go out to eat with my brother and his wife over here at the golf club. So I don't know if anyone's listening to me that lives here, but you guys can always come by there and see me. Be hanging out there. Tonight is prime rib night, and you cannot beat it. It's really inexpensive. They give you a lot, and can't wait. Yeah, thanks, Benji. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you did well. I know I reached out to a bunch of you guys to see how you were doing, and I love it. The majority of you guys are doing like really well. I'm really proud of you guys. And for you guys that are having a hard time, just keep pushing through it. It's not something that you can master, and you will never master it. You're going to have losing days. You're going to have frustrating days. And if you can just keep repeating to yourself that the most guaranteed, the only guarantee in this market is you will lose money. I promise you that. Okay. Just know that. This is the only job where we wake up in the morning and we can actually go to work and lose money. It's true. But once you start to understand it's just a process, you win some, you lose some. Your biggest job is to be a good steward of your money. Okay. And I know you guys will do that. You're in the right place, and I can't wait to trade with you guys in the morning.